Okay, going on to the next part. I'm going to go over the choice board with you guys. So if you guys can go to your copy of the choice board in Google Classroom, go to classwork, assignments, and then go to the choice board and open it up. So I need everyone on your choice board right now. You should see your name right here in the top left-hand corner. Give you some time to get to that. Julian, I taught you guys how to do the email on the Digi training. So when we did the Digi training activity, I taught you guys how to send an email. So you can go back to that activity to watch that video. Okay, so what you guys are going to be doing is I'm going to go over the 3 must-dos that you should have had done by today. If you didn't, then you're not able to check your work. Instead, you're kind of like getting instructions right now on how to do it. And also you're behind because this assignment is due next week and you're running out of time. You've already had the whole week to work on it, so you do need to catch up, all right? So first up, on your Digi choice board, the first activity you were supposed to do was the background notes. So when you click on this link, it'll take you there. But remember, after you're done with each activity, click on the bullet, right click it, and change it to a check mark to let me know that you're complete with it. This will remind me that when I'm grading, that those are the ones you completed. On the may-dos, that check mark is the only way that I'm going to know that you completed that particular may-do. If you don't have check marks here in place of the bullet that you did, then I won't know which ones to check, and I will not go through and grade them. I'm not going to click on all the links to find which one you actually did. So for the background notes for this activity, what you're going to do, or what you should have done, is you should have made a copy of the civil peace document. So you could do File, make a copy, and then you rename it with the instructions right here. So you can copy and paste this and go to your document, paste it, and then replace the parts that are for you. So instead of your first name, you're going to put in your first name and then your last name and then the period, and then you're going to make sure that it has this last part still. And sorry, I'm getting back to my drive. Okay, and then you'll make that copy. And then after you've made the copy of the document, you're going to share it. So in order to see how it has a different name now, this is the way that you're supposed to be naming the documents. You're going to click on share. And you're going to share it 2 ways. The 2 ways you're going to share it. You're going to type in my email. Okay, and you're going to make sure that you're giving me an edit permission. Okay, and then you'll send it. And then the other way that you're going to share it is you click on share. And right here where it says get link, you're going to change that so that anyone with the link can view it. And you're going to click on right here where it says copy link, click done. You're going to go back to your slide, and then in this box, you're going to hit paste, and then that'll paste your link for the document. And that way I'll be able to read it. Okay, you're actually going to do that sharing process. You're going to do it for slides 2, 3, and 4, the 3 must-do activities. Okay, for this activity, the Civil Peace by Chinua Achebe, what you guys are supposed to do, it's a background note process. On the left-hand side, you're supposed to enter in questions that are answered by the slide. So I'll click on the slide and open it up so that I can preview it. And this is just all about Chinua Achebe's life, who he was, and what he was known for. On the left-hand side, we're creating questions that are answered by this slide, or questions that we have about this slide. So one question that we can easily make, see right here where it has that when he was alive, 1930 to 2013. I could put in a question over here that is answered by the slide, When was Achebe alive? Okay, and that's definitely answered by the slide, okay? Another type of question that you could ask is one that's not answered by the slide. So something that needs to be expanded or is missing information. So right here it said, as a child, Achebe learned both the traditional values of the Igbo people and the Western values. So right here, it doesn't really explain what the traditional values of the Igbo people are. So I'll go back to my document. And for question 2, I could write, what are the traditional values of the Igbo people? Okay, and then that's just, you're doing that for each of the slides. And that's just helping you to process the information that's on it. On the right-hand side of the slide, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding an image to expand on the information that's in the slide. So for this slide, it's all about how Achebe is trying to preserve the culture of his people, right? So the Nigerian culture. So that's really what Achebe was doing through his writing. So I want to add an image that supports that that's what Achebe's purpose was. So I'm going to click right here under image. I'll click insert, image, search from the web. And I'm going to type in African traditional values. And some images will appear. And I like this one. So I'm going to enter that in. And I'll shrink it because I don't need it to be that huge. It could be much smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to explain why I chose this image. One value that okay, so if you wanted to do your own images, you could. Just make sure it's expanding on whatever information is on the slide. The way that I do it makes it so that you don't have to necessarily do your own images, but just make sure whatever image you added adds to the information that's on that particular slide, okay? All right, so I explained how to do this activity. Does anyone else have any other questions on the background notes before I go on to the story notes? Okay, I'm gonna explain how to do the story notes. For the story notes, again, it's the second must do. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be paraphrasing or identifying characterization or identifying a conflict or foreshadowing or irony or defining a word you don't know or posing a question that's left unanswered in the text. So again, you're going to go through the copy process. So you'll open up the document. You go to File, Make a Copy. And then you're going to want to rename it so that it follows this pattern. And then put in your information instead of what's on there. So you're gonna have your first name, your last name, you have your period, okay, and make sure it's getting placed back in your drive. And then you're going to want to share it just like we did earlier. So you'll click on share. And you're going to share it with my email as an editor. Okay, and you'll hit done. You'll hit done to share it with me as an editor. And then the other way that you're going to share it right here, you'll go change link. And instead of it being Valverde, you're going to change it to anyone with the link. And then you're going to click on copy link, click done. You go back to your slide, and then you're going to paste it. And then now you have the link added to that document for what you've created, okay? And then that'll make it so that you can easily get back to your document too. All right, so for the story notes, in this right-hand margin, you're gonna make one annotation for each section. That doesn't mean you're making one annotation for each paragraph, like this one with all the dialogue. That'd be way too many annotations. You're just making one annotation for that whole section, okay? So in here, you're gonna make one annotation. So let me give you an example of an annotation. In this first box for this first paragraph, what I wanna do is I wanna look, do I wanna paraphrase it? Do I want to analyze the characterization? Do I want to discuss a conflict that's introduced in that paragraph? Do I want to look at foreshadowing, irony, or something else? So what I want to do is look at characterization, because this is where Jonathan Uwegbu is introduced in the story. So characterization is the way that the character is described. And in this first paragraph, they're introducing Jonathan as someone who's very positive and is a go-getter despite having survived the war. So I'm going to go in the annotation for the right-hand margin, and I'll write okay, so that's the way the character is described in that paragraph. Another thing that I could do for annotation instead of doing characterization is I could paraphrase it. So I could summarize the paragraph or rewrite the paragraph in my own words. Another thing that I could do is I could look at a conflict that's taking place. So one conflict that takes place in the story, if you've already read it, is what takes place with Jonathan's bicycle. So in paragraph 2, it's all about the conflict of his bicycle and how one of the soldiers tries to take it from him. So a conflict. Okay, and you're going to do that for each of the paragraphs. You'll just put in an annotation and have divided it so that each one has a space for you to write in an annotation, okay? Anyone have any questions about the story notes before I go on to the last must do, the vocab? Okay, going on to the last must do, the vocab, okay? So the last thing that you need to do is the vocabulary practice. So again, just like the previous two, you're going to make a copy. So you'll click on this link, you go to File, make a copy. Okay, and you're gonna rename it using the same naming pattern that we've done for the other assignments. You wanna put your first name and your last name. Make sure it goes to your drive. Okay, and then you'll go through the sharing process again. Make sure you put me as an editor. And then you're gonna make sure that you, after you've done that, you're going to go on to the change to anyone who has the link. And then you're gonna copy that link. And you're going to post it on your slide. Okay, let me explain to you what to do for the vocabulary practice, just so you guys understand what to do for this. So it's pretty self-explanatory. The only things that I need to reinforce with you guys is that your definition in your own words, do not copy it from the internet. So do not copy your definition from the internet, make sure it's your own. Your synonyms right here, you could look up the synonyms, that's okay. So if you highlight the word, and you go use the define feature, it actually gives you synonyms right beneath it, right here. So you could use 2 of these if you like. For your new sentence, make sure that you're using the word in the sentence. So let me give you an example for this one. I'll do all of it so that you have an example for the first one. Okay, and then for synonyms, I'll go ahead and put these in. And then I'll write in a new sentence. Okay, and so you're going to do that for each one of those, all right? So make sure you go through and complete that. You will be tested on these words next week, so you do need to be proficient in it. I think our quiz that I have for this is on Tuesday, and it is going to be your first quiz grade. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, so hopefully you know what to do. You have plenty of time to work on this. If you have any other questions, make sure that you post it as a private comment on the assignment. I'm pretty sure we've gone over everything that I wanted to do today. You can also go back and watch the video on how to do this assignment, and it'll tell you what to do, okay? I'll let you guys go. Have a good weekend. Post a private comment if you need my assistance.